I have an eyebrow hater. I've just finished reading a comment on one of my YouTube videos where the person hated another video, completely unrelated to the one that they were watching, and then proceeded to say that my eyebrows were hideous. Now, I have to be honest with you, perhaps in that video, they weren't looking their best. So, I'll give this person the benefit of the doubt in that sense. But seriously, you go onto YouTube to watch content about life in Italy and then proceed to criticize somebody's eyebrows. That's some seriously weird shit right there. But here we are. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to social media. Welcome to the internet. Welcome to the modern day playground for bullies. Now, I have to be honest with you, when I started my YouTube channel, I had watched some content telling me that you had to have a bit of a thick skin to be on YouTube or really to be on any social platform. Because whenever you put something out into the public domain, you don't have like the world as your oyster, you have the world as your critic. Everybody is ready to pass judgment, to have an opinion, whether that be positive or negative, about what it is that you're producing. But you see, I've been on this journey now with YouTube for over 4 years, and I have learned so much during that time that I feel that comments like this, they don't bother me in the way that they may have done at the very, very beginning. In fact, I blocked this particular person from my channel because I just don't want them to be disturbed by my eyebrows anymore. But also, if this person is not enjoying my content, why on earth are you watching it? Let me do you a favor, public service, and remove you from my channel so that you don't have to see it anymore. I feel like this is going to do you the world of good, because something I've learned is that people who hate on others are not happy in their own lives. I mean, the eyebrow hater, I would love to know what they are doing with their life. I would be astounded if they were super successful, very happy in their life, and were posting comments like that, because essentially when you're happy in your life, you're busy, you're fulfilled, you don't have the time to hate on others. And I think if you're successful, especially, you don't have the need or necessity to want to hate on others, because you realize how difficult it can be to create something and to put it out into the world in the first place. Often people who haven't done anything with their lives or haven't created anything are the first to criticize, because they do not understand what is involved in such a process. So I think, I've definitely learned to have compassion for people who hate on my YouTube channel and people who post negative comments, because I realize it's not coming from a happy place. And, I, at the beginning, used to respond to comments like that, and I would come back with some kind of sharp one-liner or, something sarcastic, just to, in a way, show that person up. But I've learned that that is not the way to deal with people who hate on your content, because essentially they do it to provoke a reaction. And the best reaction you can give is not giving one at all. So essentially, it's this. I think social media is a wonderful thing, but it can also be a very toxic place. I don't think I have ever hated a video on YouTube, like ever disliked it or ever left a negative comment. And I think really the reason for that is because I'm very selective about what I watch on YouTube. So I don't tend to watch videos that irritate me. But even so, even if I did watch a video and I thought, that was a bit naff, I don't think I would want to write that on the video, because unless it's something that the creator can do something about, like, maybe change the audio or do something different with the pacing, I'm just being negative for the sake of being negative. And really, I don't see the sense in that. But you see, some criticism can be constructive. And this is what I have learned really from my YouTube journey, because a lot of my earlier videos, the audio was absolutely terrible. Really bad. And a lot of people would comment on that. And, at the beginning, I was a bit like, oh, but, I'm just starting out. What do you expect? But as I have gone on my journey, I've realized that actually, audio is the most important thing in a video. You can, maybe get away with like a dodgy camera or, the quality not being great visually. But really, when it comes to audio, people don't have the patience to try to strain and listen to what it is that you're saying. They want crystal clear quality. And so, those comments eventually led me to improving my setup, my equipment, and ultimately creating a better experience for my viewers. But comments that are just filled with hate are pointless. But they do show you one thing: they show that you are creating content with a backbone. And what I mean by that is that so many people in life try to sit on the fence. They try to be vanilla. They try to appeal to everybody. But essentially, you appeal to nobody. It's very difficult to build a community when you don't have an opinion about anything. I remember reading or watching a video about it. I can't remember exactly what it was. But at the very beginning of my YouTube journey, I remember seeing something that said that when you get your first hater, you should celebrate, because it means that you're doing something right. It means that you are creating content from a particular viewpoint. And as a result, it's generating a reaction from people. And it's this. Now, I'm not saying that this is an excuse for people to go and create like really hurtful, derogatory content and discriminatory content and things like this. Absolutely not. Like, there's no excuse for any of that, at all. But I am saying that if you have a particular viewpoint, like I do, about life in South Italy, it's good to have a viewpoint, and it's good to talk about things in a particular way. I'm never going to romanticize my content just because I receive some hate now and again. I'm just going to continue producing what I do because I realize that the love far outweighs the hate. And so the lessons that I've really learned about life from the haters that I have had over the course of 4 and a bit years on YouTube are that haters are never happy people. And so if you receive hate in your life from someone, just remember that person is not in a good place. So I find the healthiest way to deal with hate is to show compassion. Secondly, it shows that you are on to something good. Hate can come from jealousy because people are a little bit envious of what you're doing. And so the way that they process that is by criticizing it. But it can also come from the fact that you've got a backbone and you have an opinion about something. And trust me, I think to be that way in life is super important. I don't tend to trust people who sit on the fence, because I think if you needed them to have your back about something, they wouldn't, because they're too busy trying to appeal to everyone. So, I'm very wary of people that don't take an opinion either way and just stay silent. So, like this is it really. If you have an opinion about something and you are not afraid to talk about it, always in a respectful way, I feel like that is important sometimes, because we are not all meant to think the same and we are not all meant to share the same beliefs. And as long as it's always respectful, I don't think there is a problem with being vocal in what you think about something or how you feel about something. And also, what the haters on YouTube have taught me is that, what are they doing? Because busy people don't have time to hate on other people. Successful people do not have time to hate on other people. People who have been through that process themselves do not have time to hate on you, because they know exactly what went into that in the first place. So I think haters on YouTube can be a wonderful thing. They can toughen you up for sure. And now any kind of comment like that is like water off a duck's back. I do not let it penetrate into me. And I am very selective about what comments appear on my channel anyway, because I get to control that space and that environment. If people are that unhappy in their lives that they need a place to vent their feelings, they can go do that somewhere else. My channel is not the place for people to vent their frustrations about life in general through, my content. I prefer sometimes to allow comments that are negative to just disappear, so I don't ever publish them. But sometimes I will allow a comment to appear on my channel just to create a healthy conversation, because I feel like it's not realistic to have a channel where everybody just loves you. Like, you do need to keep a balance, but I think it depends as to what that comment is about. If it is a comment that is just filled with hate with no sense, it's never going to appear on my channel. Sometimes I would show it in the past, just to, as I said before, to show the person up a little bit. But now I don't tend to. I think if it's a comment that can generate a healthy discussion, or it's a comment that, I want to address because maybe it's a misconception or something like this, then yes, I will allow it to appear on my channel. But unnecessary hate never appears. And I think this is important. And it's taught me to have boundaries, which is another life lesson that the haters have taught me on YouTube, that you have to create boundaries to protect yourself, your mental health, but also the environment that you're creating. I don't want people to come and watch my videos, see a load of unnecessary hate comments and then be deterred from exploring further and maybe even moving to Italy in the first place. I don't want that. That's not what this channel is about. And so it's important to have those boundaries in place to protect all aspects of what it is that you're doing. So it's interesting. I don't let hate affect me on my YouTube channel in the way that perhaps I once did at the very beginning. But I think it's really important that you take lessons from everything in life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you allow it to help you to get better as a person. And I feel like that is exactly what I'm doing with any kind of unnecessary hate that I see on my YouTube channel. And I hope that you can do the same with any hate that you may receive in your life. I will see you in the next episode.